Just kidding. Neverwinter, final thoughts. Now, Neverwinter was a very fun experience. It was great to level, very easy to level, not much of like, anything crazy. Very linear. You go from like one teleport place to another teleport, and you just go from town to town, do your dungeons. Although dungeons were like the crappiest way to get experience. I PvP'd a few times with their control-based Gilneas style PvP. Okay, back. Towel Twins. And I don't know, the leveling was fun. It was probably second to Star Wars for me for an easy, enriched leveling experience. All the NPCs that you got your quests from, they all had like their own little voice acting, and I thought that made like the experience really cool, because if you actually paid attention to the story, you didn't have to read, you just listened. Sometimes I shut it off because some of the voices were annoying, but it was pretty fun. Now, the goal in every MMO, of course, is to hit max level. We all want to hit max level. We all want to see the end game. Well, most of us. I can never say all of us anymore, because people are like, Towelliee, well, that's not me. I just like the questing, and when I hit 60, I just leave. And I just uninstall the game. And I'm like, well, do whatever you want to do, bro. I don't want to argue. So we hit 60. Tier 1 dungeons, pretty simple. I mean, I was able to get a lot of starter gear from the auction house. I did pay for the $60, normal Founders Pack, which got me like 600,000 Astral Diamonds. Obviously, prices were really high at that point. And then, Tier 2 dungeons came along. They were okay. Like, the Pirate dungeon was easy. The Spider one was kind of easy. Only killed it like twice. But tanking as a Guardian fighter, there are some issues. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Oh, well, if you do this, you'll hold aggro. No, that's not the case. There's some sort of wicked aggro shit with tanks that's out of control. Like, if you get knocked back from a boss, like, you lose aggro. Your aggro goes from, 100% to 0. And then when you get back to the boss, it doesn't come back to you. Like in WoW, G-Kun Heroic, whatever his name is, when he does the downdraft, unless you get pushed back and you don't have a speed boost as a tank, and then the boss automatically looks at another player next in aggro. But if you get back to him in time, he'll go right back to you as the head of the aggro table, right? That doesn't happen in Neverwinter. Now, I respect for pure DPS. I respect for pure DPS and threat, for pure survivability and threat, and holding aggro against these fucking clerics is insane. So, Neverwinter came to a point where any group that wanted to get gear and carry their friends had to run double cleric. They didn't have to, but they did because it was the easiest thing to do. Totally negating the use of either a Guardian fighter or a Great Weapon fighter. Great Weapon fighters are like trash compared to the rest of the DPS out there. I know it's only been like 3 weeks since the game came out in open beta. Now, we all look at open beta. We see all these bugs. We see all these exploits. And we say, well, this is open beta. Open beta means that, we can do whatever we want and exploit everything. So they fix it for live. It's fucking live, man. If they said that they're not going to reset your characters or that everything is good to go, it's a live game. Stop using the term open beta as a blanket to break the rules and shit. I'm tired of that too, man. People doing all this shit. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, with the Guardian fighters, yeah, we can do dungeons, but it'll take us twice as long. If you have a good group, fine. What if you're a pug? No one even takes a Guardian fighter or a Great Weapon fighter anymore. All the groups have double cleric, double rogue, control wizard. And all the clerics do, they grab the ads, they kite in a circle, control wizard boosts them with speed, they run in a circle with all the ads, while the two trickster rogues, pure DPS, just solo tank the bosses in the middle of the room while the ads are just being kited around in a big fucking circle, And to me, that's weird. That's not how I believe it to be. You can say, oh, well, that's the Dungeons and Dragons style. But when you read, the beginning of the game and you read what each class does, clerics aren't supposed to be tanks. I can't believe there's people out there trying to justify that clerics are legitimate tanks without their crazy threat, or with their crazy threat and shields and healing. The people are calling clerics tanks, but they're not tanks. They're not meant to be tanks. They're not meant to tank the boss head on. All they're doing is grabbing ads and running around in a circle, running around in a circle. Now, can I find a group with a double cleric? Sure, why not? I mean, I can get a couple of clerics from my guild, run around. I don't want to do that. I want to play the game the way it's supposed to be played, not with, threat being broken, not with any of these bugs. Now there's some crazy, auction house bug where people are getting, billions of fucking astral diamonds, and they're, filthy fucking rich. People are getting banned left and right for, the shit they've done in dungeons. There was a bunch of streamers and shit just taking bosses out of their room and then just tanking the boss by themselves. For some reason, the ads just don't spawn if they're outside of the room. Kind of like when Rift started, the first expert dungeons. You could just take the boss, Calder's Chimera, take them all out of, the main room, and then they're just, tankable with no abilities happening. They just stand there, all retarded, Piñata, Mexicano, and they just smack the shit out of it. And, and some people are getting banned right now for using exploits on bosses. I think there was the pirate tier 2 boss or tier 1 boss. You could loot him a bazillion times. There was a loot bug where you could just face him over and over and over and over again and get continuous loot from it. And I don't know, the game leveling was great, but now there's a lot of exploits. There's all these auction house exploits. There's all this crap going on. Great weapon fighters are not being used. Guardian fighters can't find a group in public to tank with. Clerics are the new tanks, even though they weren't meant to be tanks. And trickster rogues are soloing the hardest bosses in the dungeons. The game's broken. Is it open beta? Yeah, maybe it might be. Because that's what Neverwinter says. They're sorry that this is happening during our open beta. And it's then why release the game? Then why release the game for everyone to play and everyone to because everyone's playing the game now seriously as if it's released. And that's how I'm playing it, because once I see a studio say there is no more character resets, then I'm considering it a live game. That is my live character. And I'm surprised that Cryptic has not even addressed threat or addressed clerics. Maybe they're too busy fixing the exploits. I don't know. So and then here's the kicker. So people say the game is not pay to win. It really isn't. People say this game is really pay to win. Well, it could be if you once again what I say. If you choose to make the game pay to win, you will pay. You will win. You will win. Every epic drop in tier 2. Let me hear this again, folks. Every single best in slot piece of gear in the game is BOE. Yeah. So let me break it down. If I hit level 60, I can actually purchase mostly all of my best in slot gear if I purchase enough Zen to convert to Astral Diamonds. And I'm done with the game. I have no more dungeons to do. I have all the best in slot gear, runes, whatever, you name it. Buy some shards, get those big ass runes on your armor and whatever, and you're good to go. That's crazy. That's crazy that you can buy your best in slot gear off of the auction house. Once again, if you choose to. But is that a pay to win feature? Yeah, it is. It is a pay to win feature. And it's something that they're really, taking advantage of, because people out there just want to look pretty and they want to have the best gear in the game without having to do a single thing for it. For 2 days, I tried to work hard to kill some bosses during the dungeon delves, and I couldn't because my group was too weak. I ended up bringing a great weapon fighter with me. We tried, cleric, control wizard, kiting. That didn't work out. It's crazy, man. I think that I'm pretty much done with the game. I'll log in just to invite people. We have other GMs in the guild. That's why I don't like taking the responsibility of being GM at all for any of my guilds, because I know that eventually I'm probably going to stop playing the game unless I really get the support. And the game is like Rift. Rift could be one of those games where instead of doing my Fuck It Friday, I might actually raid with the guild. I might set up a 20-man group and we might sit there and wipe just because it's fun. And it's going to be free to play. But, yeah, right now, it's just not looking good for Neverwinter. A lot of people are getting discouraged. Started out pretty good. It's ending pretty bad. Are there still going to be tons of players playing the game? Of course. Those who have money, they're going to benefit. Those of us that want an actual free-to-play experience, we're probably going to head to Rift and have a good free-to-play experience there. So That being said, that's my final thoughts on Neverwinter. If I can't tank, I can't tank. If they don't want to address any of the issues until their real release, which could be a year from now, if they wanted to milk this open beta shit, then that's pretty much it. I'm not going to roll a cleric, and I'm not going to run around in circles tanking ads thinking, or holding aggro on ads thinking, I'm a tank. Peace. Dallas Mavericks suck. Please, Dirk Nowitzki, retire. I need more players. Thank you.